Peace TV English, the solution for humanity.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We're still studying the third major fiqhi rule, and that is hardships, warrant, concessions. And we said that there are sub-rules, and we discussed three of them, the third one being ad-darurat tubihu al-mahdurat, and that is necessities make permissible unlawful things. Now this rule by itself is a very dodgy rule in the sense that everyone could claim that this is a necessity. One would deal with a bank in riba, in interest. Akhi, why are you putting your money in there and taking haram money? He says, it's a necessity. And ad-darurat, necessities, permit doing unlawful things. Another one is buying his house in mortgage. And this happens a lot, unfortunately, even among the Muslims. Mortgage is haram because it is riba based. So you find people in UK, in America, and this is when the credit crunch took place. They sold and they were forced to let go all of their belongings and their houses because of the riba. Islam doesn't have this. So you ask him, Akhi, why do you do this? He said, it's a necessity. Why? He said, if I don't do this, I'm going to pay rent to the rest of my life. So what? Pay rent, which is halal, rather than take a loan, which is haram. Major sin. So no, it's a necessity. A woman, she doesn't abide by the hijab. Why? The position I'm applying for does not permit hijab. A brother does not pray dhuhr, asr, maghrib, except at the end of the night. Why? Because my boss doesn't allow me. It's a necessity. And so on. So this, if left alone, the whole deen would change. That is why it requires another fiqhi rule that governs it. And this rule is ad-darurat tuqaddaru biqadariha, that necessities should be evaluated accordingly. So not every necessity allows you to do unlawful things. Someone is stranded in the desert and he has haram food. He said, I can eat. Are you hungry? No, I just had a good breakfast, alhamdulillah. So why do you want to eat? Oh, I'm stranded. No. This is a necessity. No. You have to evaluate it as it really needs it or not. And likewise with most and everything you need to measure whether it's a necessity or not. And I'll give you an example. What's the ruling on insurance? Car insurance. It's haram. One will say, why? Insurance is okay. The concept of insurance is gambling. It is exactly like lottery. You know lottery? When you buy a ticket for something and you may get a very big prize, usually no one gets it. But it's the same thing. It's gambling. Why is it gambling? I will insure my car. I will pay a premium of $1,000. During the whole year, if I have no accidents, the $1,000 is gone. But if I have a major accident and I have to pay $100,000 in compensation or damages, the insurance company comes and pays it. So I am either losing 1,000 or gaining 100,000. It's like lottery. Buy a ticket for €1, you get 100 million euros. This covers all your expenses, everything you ever dreamt of. Yes, but it deprives you from going to Jannah. Would you like that? No, I think I'll pass. It's like this in some Gulf countries. When you land in the airport, you find a beautiful black Porsche or a nice Ferrari, and they tell you, pay 500 dirhams, and you get a chance to win this car out of 2,000 people. And if you do the calculation, you'll find out that it's more than the price of the car. So everybody says, I'm going to be the lucky one. And they buy, and they buy, and they buy. But this is gambling. So insurance is haram. Okay, Sheikh, in my country, if you don't insure your car, they'll give you a fine. And they will deprive you from driving for 6 months or 1 year or 2 years. And if you have an accident, you will pay, Allahu Alam, how much. So it is mandatory by law not to drive without insurance. So you say, okay, now we come to the fiqh rule. Is it insuring your car a necessity? The answer is yes, because I'm breaking the law if I don't. Okay, now can I, if this is the case, I'd like to insure my car with the highest form of insurance, which covers my damages, his damages, the damages of the city. And also I can fix my car at the showroom, at the agency, not at any, no, wait. Now you're becoming selective of the type of insurance. No, the rule says necessities should be evaluated accordingly. So what is the minimum insurance that would take you away from the fine or being fined by the traffic police? He said the minimum is to pay what fixes other people's cars, which is third-party damages. So this is the minimum. This is the only one that is permissible for you. To have the one above, this becomes haram, because the concept is understood now, inshallah. طيب. Likewise in health insurance. For example, I don't know about here. In my country, we have C level, B level, A level. Now, insurance is haram. But if the company you're working in, by force, the government legislates that they have to insure. So the company is given to you without you demanding it. Can I benefit? The answer is yes, you can benefit. Because this is something you're not paying for it. It is the government that is legislating it's being an obligation upon companies. Now, being a manager, C insurance means that you have to sleep in a hospital in a joint room. And there are so many benefits that are not VIP. So I say, no, I'd like to pay the difference so that I can get an A level, a VIP level. Now, this is haram, because necessities should be evaluated accordingly. So this is, inshallah, in a nutshell, another famous example. What's the ruling on a woman uncovering in front of a stranger? What's the ruling? Haram. So this is unlawful. But if there is a necessity that permits her to do this, as in the case of going to a doctor. So she is sick. She has to go to a doctor. Then this is a necessity that permits unlawful things. But we have to evaluate this necessity. Is there a female doctor in the house? She says, yes. No, you have to go to the female doctor. Yeah, but this doctor, he's male, he's good. No, this is a necessity that can be taken care of. No, there is no doctor except male. In this case, you can go, but you have to be accompanied by your mahram. Rule number 1. Rule number 2, you must not expose anything more than what is needed. For example, if you have a problem in your hand, you go to an orthopedic surgeon. Why are you taking the cover of your face and showing your hair and taking off your abaya? All what you have to do is show your hand. Yeah, he's a doctor, he's okay. No, it's not okay. A lot of the people think that doctors are not men. I don't know, inshallah they are. But this doesn't mean that you do all of this is haram. So, for example, you go to the dentist, a sister, you don't have to uncover your whole body, only show your mouth. Your nose, your eyes should not be exposed. A lot of the sisters simply take it, those who cover the face. simply think that it's okay. No, it's not. If you go to an eye doctor, you don't have to also do this. And this is very unfortunate, especially in hospitals. And this is the role of Muslim doctors. That if I go for a surgery, for example, in my knee, the doctor or the whole hospital tells me to strip, take off all of my clothes. And they put a very transparent rope that is open from the back and no underwear, nothing. What is this? This is happening to males and this is happening to females. And when they go to the operating room, catastrophes take place. And I have documentations from this in Arabia. When the patient is sedated, khalas, it's like dead meat. The anesthesian specialist and the janitor and the doctors and the nurses, they look at everything. Unless there is someone who fears Allah and tells him, no, this is haram, cover. But there is no boundaries. There is nothing to stop them. So you have to all the time apply this important rule. That is, necessities must be evaluated accordingly. Not that every necessity that comes to your mind makes things halal. Now, there are conditions for this rule. There are important conditions that must be applied, and the first one is that the necessity can be warded off by doing the unlawful thing. Otherwise, if it cannot be, then it's haram to do the unlawful. An example would be that if someone is choking, if you choke, you'll die. And hypothetically speaking, there is no liquid around him except a bottle of wine. So he's choking, he's unable to breathe, no one around him. Is it permissible for him to drink the wine, get this choking cleared? Those who say yes, raise your hands. Okay. If he doesn't, he will die. So the majority say, alhamdulillah, yes. And those who did not raise their hands, probably did not understand the question, which I will repeat after the break, so stay tuned.
Where truth is hidden, misleading quotations create confusion. Where truth is hidden, lack of knowledge and wisdom cause upheaval and commotion. Where truth is hidden, manipulated scriptures and twisted facts emerge. This very hidden truth creates false propaganda, mayhem, chaos, disorder, and turmoil in our lives and the world order. But is there anyone with courage and wisdom? What is the truth and who has the courage to expose it? Because it's your right to know the truth.
Watch truth prevail and lies perish in Truth Exposed by Dr. Zakir Naik every Saturday to Thursday at 9 p.m. and repeat telecast at 7:30 a.m. Saudi Arabia on Peace TV.
The more you hear about it, the more you desire to prepare for it. Life after death. Journey of the soul. The day of resurrection. The torment of the hellfire. The reward of paradise. Stay tuned for a life-changing, heart-softening, spiritually uplifting series about the hereafter exclusively on Peace TV.
Know the vivid descriptions of paradise and hellfire from the Quran and authentic ahadith and acquire life-changing habits to be successful in the hereafter. Next on Peace TV.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. Just before the break, we took your opinion and the majority of you agreed. If someone is choking and he's going to die because he's unable to breathe, he ate something and is stuck in his throat, and he has nothing except a bottle of wine. So can he drink wine to clear his throat? And you all said yes, because if he doesn't, he will die. Now, the rule or the condition we have just stated, it states that this harmful thing, this hardship, must be removed by doing the unlawful thing. If it's not removed, then it is not permissible to apply it. The example is, if someone is dying of thirst and there's nothing except whiskey to drink, is it permissible for him to drink? The scholars say no. Why? Because this would not take his thirst away. This would make him more thirsty. And that is why they say, the hardship here, the harmful thing, has not been taken care of by this haram, unlawful thing, then it remains unlawful and you cannot take this. So first rule, to apply these necessities can be a means of making something unlawful lawful, is that the unlawful thing can remove this necessity. If not, then no. Secondly, that there is no other means except this harmful or haram thing. There is no other means to relate or to refer to except these unlawful things. But if there is another mean, then you cannot apply this. For example, there is a doctor who is male and a female, and the sister wants to get a checkup. She cannot go at all to that male because this is a necessity that can be dealt with something halal. So unlawful things are not to be applied. The third rule, or a third condition, that is that the unlawful should be less than the necessity. You cannot have it equal to or more. Example, someone comes to you and says to you, if you do not kill that man, I will kill you. What to do? Sheikh, I have to protect myself. I have to defend myself. So I will kill him. And he tells you, kill that person as well. And kill that person as well. And he's doing this repeatedly. Why are you doing this? Said, it's a necessity that permits unlawful things. Said, no, this is not a necessity, because now you're trespassing. You are transgressing on someone else's rights, which makes it haram. So if someone under threat, under compulsion, tells you to kill someone, it's forbidden. You'd rather die. Okay, if he tells me only cut his hand, you die. Okay, if he tells me just beat him, you die. Because this is the right of others. If he tells you to steal his money, okay. Why? Because the wealth, the money, is less valuable than your life. So even if I steal it and I'm caught, I have to pay it back, no problem. I saved my life. So this is how you evaluate things. Before moving to the fourth sub-rule, do we have any questions? Okay, let's take the brother in the middle row.
Sheikh, the question is, for example, nowadays as technology has increased, so for example, if I have to buy any application on the computer or any mobile phone, so there is no other option except to buy from credit card. For I want to buy a Quran or to listen to Quran, I have to pay it from credit card. So what can be done in these cases?
Okay, that's a very good question. And it's very contemporary. There's no camel attacking you, and there is no being stranded in the desert. This is contemporary. You have a problem. There is a necessity for obtaining a credit card. Now, hypothetically speaking, that if there is no other halal alternative, then it is permissible due to the necessity. And when necessity is there, unlawful things become permissible, providing that we evaluate them accordingly. So in your case, or in someone's case, for example, living in America, and in America or in Europe, everything is done by credit card. And you, as an individual, have a credit limitation or credit condition that they evaluate you with. And they say, this man is bad. His credit is bad because he borrowed so much, he did not pay. This man's credit is good. We can give him facilities. We can make transactions easy for him. Borrowing in riba is haram. This has no other opinion to it. So I'm not encouraging you to buy or to borrow in riba, but because this is a necessity, providing that there is no other Islamic solution, you are allowed to take this credit card, but not to borrow from it. See, they lend you money for 40 days, and then they charge you interest. To avoid this, you charge your credit card by depositing money into it, so that the minute you buy something, after 40 days, the money is there. Or you authorize them to withdraw immediately from your bank account and never buy anything that exceeds what you have in your bank account. But the permissible alternative is there, which is debit card. So you get a debit card from the same companies, charge it with $500,000 or $1 million, and then you can buy until your credit is over. So I hope this answers your question. Yes.
Sheikh, before the break, we discussed about the veiling of a woman. So is it compulsory for a woman to veil her face, or is it mustahab? And if it is compulsory, then what's the dalil for it?
Okay, this is completely off the topic because we are studying the fiqh rules. And this, what you're asking about, is an issue in fiqh. And it's an issue of dispute among scholars. Some say that the face of the woman is not awra. She is not obliged to cover it. Others say that it is awra and it is mandatory to cover. And each party has their own evidences. I personally support the opinion that it is a must to cover from a number of different ayahs, such as the ayahs in Surah Al Ahzab, verse 53, the one that says to the wives of the Prophet ﷺ, whenever you companions want to ask something from them, ask them from behind a veil, from behind a visor. This is purer for your hearts and their hearts. The hearts of the companions, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and the hearts of the wives of the Prophet ﷺ, Aisha, Khadija, Zainab, and Safiya. And if this is an instruction to the purest hearts, then to us it's definitely more needed. Yes.
Sheikh, as we were discussing regarding the issue of the woman going to a doctor, to a male doctor for assistance or for medical treatment. So my question is that, is it permitted for the male as a profession, such as a gynecologist or something, is he permitted to take up such a profession wherein it involves treating only women or dealing with pregnancy as such?
The question is good, and the answer is, if there were sufficient amount of lady doctors, then it's not permissible, because then it would be redundant. But as we see that this is not the case, unfortunately, we have a deficiency in the number of female doctors. And therefore, yes, it is permissible. And the more God-fearing this doctor is, the better. Because if we have truly practicing doctors who fear Allah Azza wa Jal, who have knowledge, then one would assume that this is better for the community, because they will not transgress. They will not do something that is not lawful and permissible for them. So inshallah, this is, and he answers your question. Yes.
I have two questions. First one is that in some shopping malls, like they have this that if we shop above some given amount, then they themselves give us those lottery tickets. So are those lottery tickets permissible? And my second question is that if a woman has to go to a doctor, then what is a better option? A non-Muslim female doctor or a male Muslim doctor?
Very good questions, but this requires a lecture. First question, if you're referring to points or a draw, this is in a nutshell. It's halal if you go to buy a product not for the draw. So if I always buy a can of milk, brand A, and today I read in the newspaper that brand B is giving a car as a draw. So I said, I will buy brand B. This is haram, this is lottery. But if I'm always buying brand A, and I read in the newspaper that they're giving a car, I don't care. I still buy my usual brand, but then I find that I win a car. It's halal, no problem. So this answers your question, inshallah. So the second question, scholars make it in grades or degrees. So the first priority for a woman to go to a Muslim female doctor. If not possible, then a non-Muslim female doctor. If not applicable, then a male Muslim doctor. And if not, the last choice would be a non-Muslim male doctor. This is how it should be. Otherwise, it is not a necessity, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. This is all the time we have until we meet next time. Fi amanillah wa salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.